Good evening, I'm 14 First Alert meteorologist Arden Gregory here with your 9 o'clock streaming show. We have a lot to talk about. Today has been a First Alert weather day. It was very hot and humid earlier today. Then the storms rolled through. They brought us a lot of lightning, some heavy rain and flooding, and now that alert day is winding down as we may still get some heavy rain and flooding, but it's an isolated chance. The severe weather threat seems to be over, and those storms broke the heat. So moving forward, we do have another First Alert weather day, but it's not until next week. We are on alert Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and probably beyond that next week for dangerous heat, as it looks like we could have heat index values as high as 110 middle of next week. So for the next few days, we're still talking about scattered showers, a few thunderstorms through this weekend and even into the start of next week. Then you'll notice that the temperatures really start to soar as our skies turn mostly sunny again. That's going to push our temperatures into the mid to even upper 90s next week. But look at this humidity. It's already been pretty muggy here recently, but we're really going to see that humidity starting to climb as we get into the second half of the weekend. And then by early next week, I mean, really, we're just like right at the top of the chart there, just stifling humidity. And that paired with all that heat is going to lead to those dangerously high heat index values. But let's start with the rain chances, because that's going to be more immediate. We've still got some rain moving through tonight, and we still have rain in the forecast all the way through the weekend. So earlier today, we had one round of thunderstorms move through this afternoon, lots of lightning, some very heavy rain. We had flooding issues in Henderson. Then a second round of storms moved through, but as those approached the tri-state, they weakened out pretty quickly. So we got some very heavy rain and lightning in White and Gallatin counties, and then it was really down to just showers and a few rumbles of thunder by the time it got to Evansville, and it has tapered off almost completely as it's pushed off to our east now. But we're not totally done with the rain chances. You will notice one isolated thunderstorm in White County right now, and then some additional showers and storms off to the west stretched across southern Illinois. So these will continue to move from west to east, so we'll see a few more thunderstorms rolling through the tri-state overnight tonight, and an isolated chance even into early Friday morning. But in general, the rain moving forward is going to be pretty spotty. Not everyone's going to see that rain. Where it develops, you could still get some pockets of heavy rain and maybe some flooding issues, but again, it's not a widespread concern, and our severe weather threat, which was already rather low, seems to have cleared out completely. As we go through the day on Friday, we may get a few spotty showers or storms through the middle of the day into the afternoon, but our rain chances really pick up Friday evening. This is the latest model data that just came in, showing our best chance of rain will be Friday evening into early in the night Friday night. Then those showers and storms taper off as we go through the overnight hours. Saturday then looking like it'll be dry first thing in the morning, but we start to see isolated rain chances picking up around the middle of the day. And then much like Friday, it seems the best chance of rain on Saturday is trending a little bit later than it originally was. Now this could still shift some, obviously. It has been pretty consistently showing a good chance of rain Saturday afternoon. This newest data that just came in right before we came on the air here at 9 is showing that those rain chances really pick up Saturday evening. So maybe we'll get through more of the day on Saturday with dry skies. I know that would be some good news for everybody who has any kind of outdoor plans on Saturday. But as far as our thunderstorm chances are concerned, we were at a level 1 risk for severe storms. That has since been pulled. We are sitting at just a general risk for some heavy rain and a few rumbles of thunder today as well as tomorrow, and then we see that into Saturday as well, with a very limited risk of severe storms off to our northeast on Saturday. Let's take a quick check-in on the comments. Jeff Miller reporting just over a half-inch of rain in Sava. Thank you, Jeff. A little less than a half-inch in by Bossy. I was looking for a city there, by Bossy in Evansville here. Says that second round, I guess, kind of missed him there. Thank you for the report, William. And good evening from Owensboro. And JT, I'm glad to hear that you're going to be in Florida next week. It's probably going to be cooler there than it is here. That is for sure. Let's talk about our temperatures because it was hot around lunchtime today. We were in the 90s. It was just sweltering. We had all that humidity. Then those storms rolled through this afternoon, and just like that, we went from the 90s to the 70s, and we have sat there ever since with those scattered showers and storms moving through because then the sun went down, so we never had a chance to warm back up. So we're just kind of sitting pretty steady in the mid 70s, have been for the past couple of hours, and I think that'll be the case through the rest of the night. So some very hit or miss showers and storms tonight. Temperatures bottoming out in those low to mid 70s, so we'll probably only drop a couple of degrees from where we are right now. It's going to be kind of warm and muggy all night long. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, although we'll get a few peaks of sunshine. Some very isolated rain chances throughout the day, but as I said, the latest data coming in now is showing the best chance of storms will be Friday evening into very early Friday night. Unfortunately, that is a time of day where a lot of folks tend to be out and about and have plans on Friday evening. So hopefully we won't have any issues with that, but just be aware if you're going out to county fairs Friday after 5, those kinds of events, you may run into some rain Friday evening. Temperatures will top out in the upper 80s to right around 90 on Friday, but it is still going to be humid, so it's probably going to feel more like the upper 90s, maybe even low triple digits, so feeling about 10 degrees warmer than it actually is. As we go through the rest of the weekend, we continue to see these scattered storm chances. Keep in mind, it's pretty consistent that most of those days, the best chance of rain will probably be in the afternoon or evening. Then as we get into next week, notice those rain chances drop. There's still a chance, but it's that more typical summertime chance where most of us will stay dry, but a stray shower or storm may kind of bubble up in the heat of the afternoon. That's what we're looking at through the middle of next week. So when that rain tapers off and we don't have those rain chances each day to kind of cool us down a little bit, we really see just this surge in the heat. So let's keep talking about the rain chances first because we are stuck in this very unsettled weather pattern. We just can't seem to really clear things out. And when we finally do, it's going to get hot. So today we've had this cold front very slowly dipping to the south, passing through our region, but it's stalling out and it's just going to kind of slide to the east. And as it does so, we remain right along the edge of this boundary and we continue to see some scattered rain chances throughout the day on Friday, particularly Friday evening. Then as that starts to move out, the next weather maker moves in. That keeps the rain chances going Saturday and Sunday and carrying over into Monday as well. Then just as this all finally starts to clear off to the northeast, we dry things out on Tuesday, but notice we never got on the backside of the cold front. We're still stuck on the wrong side. That means it's still going to be hot and humid. Normally, you'd have this cold front that swings through, it storms, but then behind that, it's cooler, it's less humid, and we get to sort of enjoy, we suffered through the storms and now we get to enjoy this little break from the heat. That's not going to happen. Instead, we're stuck right on the edge of those frontal systems, which means we still get caught up in those rain chances through the weekend and all the way into the start of next week. But when all's said and done, we're still on the wrong side of the cold front, which means we still have warm air flowing in from the south, and that heat is just going to build as we go through the middle of next week. So for those rain chances, it's still humid, a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, which means we still have that risk of heavy rain, just like we've already been seeing for the past couple of days. So through the night tonight, we're still sitting at a level 2 risk. Any storms that do develop could potentially bring some very heavy rain, maybe some flooding, and we continue to see that. Friday, a level 1 risk, Saturday, a level 1 risk, Sunday, a level 2 risk, back to a level 1 on Monday. So the trend is the same. Every single day this week that we have a chance of storms, there is the possibility those storms could produce some very heavy rain and some isolated flooding problems. But then the rain finally starts to move out, and that's when that heat builds in. And look at this. By Tuesday, we see this major heat risk building in from the southwest, really taking over by Wednesday and Thursday. And we even have a few patches of purple showing up here, which would be an extreme heat risk. And when we're talking about heat risk, we're talking about a risk to your health and safety here. So it's going to be so hot that if you don't hydrate, don't stay cool, don't take care of yourself, you could very easily end up in a situation where we're talking about heat exhaustion or even heat stroke, which can be deadly. So we're talking about a major to possibly even an extreme health-related heat risk as we go through the middle of next week and maybe even beyond. The Climate Prediction Center has outlooked us for Friday, July 25th, so that's next Friday, through the end of the month. We're outlooked as being at a high risk of an extreme heat event there. So we're already looking at this dangerous heat as far out as we forecast. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're already on alert for that heat wave with highs in the mid to upper 90s and heat index values as high as 105 to 110. But the trend is showing that heat's not going to break anytime soon. So we may be talking about this heat wave extending all the way into next weekend possibly. So that's what we'll be really keeping an eye on over the next few days. So scattered showers and storms, hot, humid, but not unreasonably so. Kind of a typical July, just kind of muggy and hot and gross, you know, your glasses fog when you step outside, that kind of deal. Typical July in the tri-state. That's what we've got in store for the next few days. Then when the storms finally start to taper off, that's when that heat really kicks into high gear and we're on alert for that heat wave through the middle of next week. And like I said, I would not be surprised if that alert day gets extended all the way through the end of the week. We're just going to keep tacking them on one day at a time as more of those days come onto the 7-day forecast there. Caden concerned about swimming in Muhlenberg County tomorrow evening. It's iffy. I've been saying that all week. You need to just have a backup plan. It's going to be scattered. It's very possible that the rain will miss you and you'll be able to continue with your Friday evening plans, but I would also have a backup plan, especially in a pool situation where you have somewhere where people can get out of the water and move indoors somewhere safe. And again, if you hear thunder, even if it's not raining yet, if you hear thunder, you're close enough to get struck by that lightning. So it's time to get out of the pool and move inside if that happens. Hopefully you'll be able to still have your pool party on Friday evening, but you will need to have a backup plan just in case, because there is that chance of scattered storms. Zach asking how likely are tornadoes? They're very unlikely. We are not outlooked for severe weather of any kind right now. There's a very slim chance of some severe weather to our north primarily on Saturday, but really all these storm chances I'm talking about here through this weekend and even into Monday, those are primarily non-severe thunderstorms. So we're talking about some very, very heavy rain, maybe a lot of lightning, kind of like what we already saw today. It may have just an absolute downpour, lots of lightning, but ultimately, it's not severe, and severe storms would have damaging winds, large hail, or tornadoes. And so we're not expecting any of those things. Just thunderstorms with lightning and a lot of rain is what we're expecting the next few days. So not concerned about tornadoes. Cheyenne's asking about storm totals. That's a little bit iffy because of the way this rain is going to be scattered, and where it rains it could get so heavy. Today is a great example of that. We've had some folks reporting they got less than a ½ inch of rain today. At the Evansville Airport, we set a daily rainfall record. We've had 1 3/4 inches of rain today at the Evansville Airport. So that's the kind of range we'll be talking about all weekend long, where if your county or even your neighborhood gets caught under one of these downpours, you could see a very high rain total very quickly, end up with some localized flooding. Other areas may get little to no rain at all. So that kind of specific forecasting, because it's not going to be a big sweeping storm system where we all get the rain and it's all about the same amount. That's not going to be the case here. It's going to be very scattered. Any flooding issues will be very isolated. So in Owensboro on Sunday, you could get very little rain, or you could end up with a downpour that drops an inch in an hour. It really is just going to vary so much. I wish I had better answers for you, but there's just that kind of uncertainty with this. And JT's already making his predictions for another heat wave at the end of August. We'll see if that pans out for him. But we did have a heat wave at the end of June, and we're now looking at a heat wave at the end of July. That is true. So maybe we're setting up a pattern here. But I'm pretty sure it's just a coincidence. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I hope I've answered everybody's questions. For those of you who are concerned about plans, especially toward the end of the weekend, we are still 3 days out. The timing and whatnot could still obviously change. So for those of you concerned about Friday evening, check back throughout the day tomorrow. Once the storms are actually up and moving, it's much easier to predict where they're going to go and when. Right now, we're still, forecasting storms that don't exist yet. So we'll just have to wait and see where they pop up. And then similarly, as we get into the weekend, by Saturday, we should have a clearer picture of Sunday and so on. So with this kind of weather, it's just it's hard to predict that kind of specific, how much rain are we getting in Owensboro. The science just isn't there yet, but we do the best we can with what we've got. So everybody just have a backup plan. Hopefully your plans can go off without a hitch, but have somewhere safe to go to seek shelter if there is lightning in the area, just in case, because there are scattered chances through the entire weekend. All right, with that, I actually am going to wrap it up this time, but I'll have another look at your forecast at 14 News tonight at 10. Everybody have a good night.